Ours is recording, go.
Okay. All right. So our group came up with the idea to create a program that essentially reads from a movie database that we feed it and then lets the user search for movies, which would then give recommendations based on the movies that the user chose. And personally, there are times where I felt the urge to watch movies, but I just didn't know which ones to watch because I've watched so many. And this is where this program comes into play. And the ultimate goal of this program is to help users find new movies that they might not have seen before based on the movies that they select from the database. The information for this movie database was collected from the IMDb website, and that provided us with the name, the genre, rating, and actors in the movie, among other things. So essentially, what the program does, it just reads from this movie database, and we added a search feature to it, which just lets the user find movies depending on what they are looking for. And we also provide a list that the user can add movies to. The program then reads the list, and based on what movies are on the list, will then recommend movies that aren't already on the list to you. So it takes the genre and into account. So say you enter a horror movie and you place on your list, right? The program will then recommend another horror movie that isn't on your list.
Okay, so we utilize Tkinter for our app, whereas we made the Tiki frames with the database with a search bar, a list add, and the ad list. We didn't import any database. We just made it from scratch, whereas in we wrote the we wrote the columns then, and then we added in the title of the movie, the actors them, when the movie came out, the ratings and the director. We did all this from scratch out to over 140 movies then, and we we fixed the code to make it so that it can so we made it a drop list box where a person can easily press down action, horror, or romance, and then type in movie where they'll add it. So running it right now. So running it right now. This is the title screen right here. This is the title screen right here. So you can click search right here, and we could type in, click the genre, click search, and all the action movies that will come out. Tenet, Rogue City, Deadpool, Batman. Go to romance, click it. All the romance movies will come out. Love Sign, Call Me by Name, Last Christmas, Beastly. Click on the horror, and all the horror movies will come out as well. Jaws, Saw, and the Extra Cross. And if you type in the name such as Deadpool right here, you'll be able to add movie to the list. Easy as that. And then clicking back, you're able to see the movie come up in the ad list bar. That's basically, and that is basically it for the demos for it.
All right. And as for troubleshooting, we basically faced a few problems coming right out of the gate. Our first one being our database structure. So at first, the entries in our database were not structured as well as they could have. There were some empty data, about 20 to 30 rows, which was giving unstructured output while also leading to multiple errors. I was able to pick this up very quick, and I simply cleaned the database, just removed the empty records from it, and that was that. We also ran into minor complications regarding our home code. The home screen needed some refinement. The buttons were not in the right place, and I found a few varying widths, which made everything look a little choppy and it didn't flow correctly. This was another easy fix. We just implemented this consistent width and everything aligned, and it looked more organized altogether. Now getting into the more specifics, I ran into trouble within our search function. This function was, as mentioned, was basically responsible for displaying the search movie screen, and there was a lot of errors within that, such as like the buttons, labels, and lists. We didn't handle them as best as we could have right off the bat. I noticed both of our buttons, search and add, perform the same exact functionality as one another. And it's also worth mentioning there was also no option on the screen to go back to the home screen without using the close button on the window, which is not really appropriate for the kind of use that our program would be handling. So I created and implemented a back button, which was just displayed and takes you back to the home screen. Regarding searching, the drop-down list had to be minimized to check the movies only by genre, unfortunately. At first, we had intentions to filter by director, actor, date, and rate, but unfortunately, time ran short and we were left with too many errors. So I basically had to cut those options for the sake of easiness and better understanding altogether. Our function gets the value from the dropdown and filters the database for that genre and just basically prints the names of the movies to the list. And lastly, regarding our add function, if you were to select the genre of movies and press to show the list, it now shows all the movies relating to the genre in the list. And for a movie you want to add, make sure it's available in the list. And if it is, type the list name to the entry box and just press add, as simple as that. The movie with some basic data information will be added to your favorites list. This function checks the data within the database, depending on user input. And if there's a movie with the name the user entered, then it will just be added. And that's basically all that we ran into problems-wise.
And that is our presentation.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.